Hello and welcome to what's in this week's Oban Times with me, Kathy Griffiths.
And me, Sandy Neal.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
I know we're a few days into it, but this is our first what's in this week's Oban Times of 2022. Goodness knows what other stories we're going to have coming through the year, but let's hope it's going to be a brighter and better and a healthier year for everybody. Now, if I had a glass of something exciting, I would chink my glass, but it might only be orange juice. But there we go. So cheers to 2022 for everybody.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I know. Oh, I felt like royalty then, doing my own little sort of, Happy New Year message.
Your own speech. Yeah, so, exactly. No, it can only get better, really, Kathy, can't it? We can only really go up. I mean, every year since 2020 has been getting slightly better. Slightly.
Positive thinking, Sandy. We all need positive thinking. So here we go. So new year ringing in, new changes. COVID is still very much with us. There's been a surge in cases. Obviously, we've had all the Christmas activities and New Year's activities. So there is an increase in cases. And with that, it's had to bring some changes. Now, one of the big changes is essential visiting only at the hospital here in Oban. If you need to visit somebody or want to visit one of your loved ones, you need to ring the hospital, have a little chat with them and get that sorted out, and they'll make arrangements with you. But it is essential visiting only, and you must do a test before you go, and you must get that negative result back. So that's something that everybody needs to be aware of. Also, CalMac is struggling to cope with the number of staff that's off. At one point, they had 94 crew off across its network. So they've had to come up with a temporary emergency timetable looking at how they can adjust some of the services, because they need to safeguard lifeline services to the islands. That's what they've said. So you need to go online onto their website, check out some of the changes. Some of those changes do actually affect the islands of Coll, Colonsay and Tiree. So have a little look there and see what you think. We also have news that the British Heart Foundation charity shop is leaving town. For 14 years, they've been trading, taking in your donations, and you've been buying bargains and bargain seeking there, and that's been helping with research. Well, they've decided to shut the shop. Now, they say it's because they've noticed a decrease in footfall and people coming into the shop. So obviously we've had COVID, so is that part of it? So we've got a little story in about that, and we've been talking to some of the campaigners in the community who wanted to save it, and they asked the charity what could they do to save it, but it doesn't seem as though there's much they can do at the moment. So let's wait and see. This story might develop, it might rumble on for a little bit, but I know a lot of people have supported British Heart Foundation over the years, so there we go. Also, Project Trust, this is a charity based on Coll, and we've been talking to their director about their big mission during COVID and how they had to suddenly try and get all of their volunteers back from across the world working on various projects, and it was quite a mission. One of the tasks they had to do to get people off one of the tiny islands, a remote island, was to actually charter a helicopter, and they also had to get a private security company involved at one stage, but they did manage to get all of their volunteers back to the UK safely. So you can read all about that as well. A bit of an adventure story there. Blimey. Sandy, what have you been up to?
Well, goodness me. Well, sort of weirdly on that kind of topic, a couple from Mull have flown to the Philippines to aid a fragile island community devastated by Typhoon Odette just in the days before Christmas. And they need your help because the area has been devastated, and the local people there need your help to provide food, water, and shelter. And this is a sad story. The loss of two fishermen with the Nancy Glen 4 years ago shocked communities around Loch Fyne. But there is hope that similar future tragedies might be avoided, as a fatal accident inquiry in Oban has concluded into the sinking. We have the details of that report. In better news, Ian Thornber returns to our heritage pages with Morven Lines, looking at St. Columba's legacy. Last year, as you may remember, was the 1,500th anniversary of his birth. Now, if any one of us are remembered 1.5 millennia after we were born, I would say that's pretty impressive. And we have part 2 of the Oban Times' review of 2021. And in the arts, a Sky futurist author who has pledged to have his head cryogenically frozen after his death has rebooted Grimm's fairy tales. So we have more information about that, all in this week's Oban Times. Kathy, over to you.
It does sound pretty grim, that, actually, having your head frozen. But you know what? I'm going to read about that. And yeah, so it's a book, is it? Did you say he's written a book?
Well, he's written 2 books. So the first book was about his choice to, he's called The Cryonic Man, that he has been paying money to have his head frozen in a laboratory in the US after his death, in the hope that in the years to come, when technology advances, that it may be brought back to life. And now his latest book, he feels that the old Grimm fairy tales need a reboot for the future. So this is something you can
you can only read this in the Oban Times. Only in the Oban Times. Fantastic, yeah. Fantastic. I'll look out for that one. Well, here at the Oban Times, we are always happy to hear your stories and see your pictures. Please get in touch. You can give us a call on 01631 568 000. You can email us at editor@obantimes.co.uk, or you can message us on Facebook. Pick up a copy of your Oban Times from all the usual retail places, shops and petrol stations, and you can also go online to our digital page turning edition and subscribe. There you go. All right, well, Happy New Year to you all, folks, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Bye-bye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
And bye from me, Sandy Neal.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hey, hey.